Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in on today. Today I have a special guest, and her name is Miss Staci Renee Wright. She is going to be one of our featured speakers at the Business Building Wealth Luncheon, October 28th in Dallas, Texas. My name is Terry Alford. If this is your first time watching, hello. Thank you very much for watching. I specialize in helping business women build wealth and financial freedom so that we can live, lead, and leave multi-million dollar legacies. If you are interested in learning more about how I do that, feel free to reach out to me. You can send a direct message or you can put a comment in the comment section of this video. Hello, Staci. Thank you for being here with me on today. How are you?
Hi, Terry. I'm doing great, enjoying the sunshine. It looks like you are as well.
I am enjoying the sunshine. It is still summer here in
Yeah.
Texas. It's summer until October here in Texas, and I'm enjoying all of this sun. So
Yeah.
tell me this before I give everyone an introduction. What is the one thing that you're most grateful for on today?
What I am most grateful for today is the freedom that I have as an entrepreneur to pursue the life that I want to live.
Oh, that's such a blessing. I love that. I love that. So, who is Staci Wright? Who is Staci Wright? Well, just to tell you a little bit about her, she is a visionary serial entrepreneur with a passion for creating meaningful change in the world. Having had 5 businesses over the last 20 years, her depth and breadth of wisdom in launching and scaling businesses help her bring innovative ideas to life with power and ease. Driven by a deep rooted desire to infuse heart based practices into the world of business, Staci has made it her mission to heal the world and promote mental wellness through her latest ventures. Recognizing the transformational power of compassion and empathy, she has dedicated her entrepreneurial journey to revolutionizing the way businesses operate. I will tell you this. I had the honor and pleasure and privilege to meet Staci about a year ago, almost a year ago. And
Mhm.
I have experienced nothing but incredible energy and words of wisdom since being in her presence. She's a beautiful person on the outside and the inside. And
Yeah.
the reason that she is going to be featured as a speaker is because she has an incredible story. And I know she loves to serve people. And if you are coming to the luncheon as a businesswoman, you are going to be fed not just physically, but you are going to be fed holistically. And we are going to speak about the mental wellness that we should pay close attention to as entrepreneurs. As an entrepreneur, we have good days, we have bad days, we have up times, we have down times. There are many ebbs and flows of our business, and we are not always in a space in which we can share those ups and downs with others. Some things we hold in and we harbor those things in, and it actually attacks our ability to be the best version of ourselves for our business. So these are the types of conversations that we are going to have at the Business Women Building Wealth Luncheon, because here's the thing: if you are going to build wealth, you have to make sure that you are healthy, because health is wealth. And so you need to make sure you are mentally healthy. And that's one of the things that we're going to speak about. So, again, Staci, thank you for being here with us on today. You have been in business for over 20 years. Why are you choosing to focus this time in this season on mental wellness for entrepreneurs?
Well, actually, I'm focused on mental wellness for the society as a whole. So, bringing practices into our businesses where we provide jobs that nurture mental wellness. So as an entrepreneur over the last 20 years, having the 5 businesses, I wore my body out pretty early. So I suffered from cancer at age 32, complete just exhaustion from running so hard and burning up my energy and not taking care of my body. And so I've spent the last 20 years really taking care of my body, taking care of what I'm putting into my body, how I'm taking care of my mental health, how I'm taking care of my mind. And you touched on that very important topic, is that our mind is even more important than our body, and our mind can impact how our bodies react and respond. But the reason I find this such an important topic for all of us to be having is because as I look around, I'm also a community advocate. So I do a lot of volunteerism. I volunteer for a lot of different organizations in my community. And what I found over the last few years is that the needs in the community, in our society as a whole, are growing exponentially. We have the society that we've built is breaking our people. So our people that used to be able to thrive and, in a normal job and be able to make money and do the things that they need to do for themselves and their family, it's a much harder world out there for them. And so what I want to focus on and what I focus on is, how do we change the way we're doing business so that we're not breaking our people? Because if you look at the business model we've had over the last 100 years, it's based on, there's a few at the top that get really wealthy at the expense of the people underneath. And what I want to do is I want to shift that to where, yes, we're making a lot of money, but we're using that money for the good of all people, because we're all human beings. We all deserve to have a life of peace and a life of ease. And what I'm seeing in the world today is just a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, which is leading to a lot of mental illness. We're seeing mental illness in children as young as 5 years old. And I just see business as a vehicle where we can impact sustainable change long term, and we can change the trajectory of the mental health of our country through our business practices.
That is so powerful. That is so powerful. You see, people who are watching, who are listening, you see what I mean? I love the fact that you are seeing us as entrepreneurs and business leaders as people who can actually change the trajectory of what mental health look like for our community as a whole. I think that is a beautiful thing. So I want you to tell us, what does it mean to do business from the heart, and how can we do business from the heart when many times we're focusing on our own finances, we're focusing on our own financial needs, we're focusing on our own family. So how can we truly do business from the heart at this
Hmm.
point?
Okay, so I would say, moving from our head into our heart, connecting those two. We have brain cells that live in our heart. We have neurons that processes information just like our brains do in our heart. We also have them in our gut. But when we connect the heart brain into our brain, and we're using both our minds and our hearts, we can then affect change in the world. And it's really simple. It is really simple. It's coming into being human. So I have a perfect example. I have a couple of examples. One is, my friend has an insurance agency. So she employs, I think, 4 or 5 people. They're all women. They're all mothers. And a couple years ago, she realized in her life, because she had a kid and a husband, and she had another baby on the way. And she realized she didn't have enough time at home to do the things she wanted to do, to take care of her family, to take care of herself, and to plan their vacations, like all the things that she wanted to do, she didn't have time for because she was working so much. And she started thinking, who decided that we were supposed to work 40 hours a week? Like, that's a lot. And I don't want to work 40 hours a week anymore. Okay. So the very next thought that she had, because she is a heart-based entrepreneur, her very next thought was, well, if I'm having this problem, I bet my people are having the same problem, because some of them are single moms. And I can't even imagine what it must be like to be a single mom. So let me go to my people and let's figure out another way to do this. And so she literally sat down all of her people. She said, hey, if we can get all of our work done in the same way, we can be just as impactful and effective and keep the business growing at a good trajectory. And we can do it in 30 hours a week. I'll pay you for 40 and we'll go home at 30. And all of the people came together and said, yes, let's do that. And so they devised a plan. And within 6 months, they were working 30 hours a week. and getting the same amount of work done. And she kind of expected the trajectory of her business. This is the fascinating thing about it. She expected the trajectory of growth in her business to flatten out just a little bit. She was going to make sure it was still growing, but she gave herself grace to have it grow a little bit less fast. And you know what happened? It actually started growing faster. So she has not missed a beat. Her people are spending 10 hours a week with their more time with their kids than they were spending before. And it's blessed the entire business. So that's what I mean by doing business from the heart. There was a time 25 years ago when I worked for an insurance agency, and the owner didn't want to work 40 hours a week. And guess what? He didn't work 40 hours a week. He went home and did whatever, right? We all worked 40 hours a week. It wasn't even a thought in his mind. Like, he earned that right to not be able to have to work and didn't worry about it. So having that heart is really just connecting with the people that work with you and for you, and putting that first, the well-being of people ahead or on the same playing level as the profits. Because in the past, it's been all about profits and productivity, and people are like way down on the value list of corporations. And what I'm saying is, with the heart based business, you're putting people up there with the profit. People are just as important as the profit. The profit is definitely important because you can't have a sustainable business without money. You know this. But you can have the heart and you can do good for people at the same time. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to sacrifice people for profit. And so that's what it means to do business from the heart. And one other example I'll give you real quick. I have a friend that has a maid service company, and she has, I think, 15 maids working for her, and they're all going in different directions. And when one goes down, when one maid can't show up, she's the one that goes and cleans the house that day, or, has to scramble to make things work. And so up until just recently, she was of that mindset of productivity and profit, right? It's productivity and profit. And so when somebody was down, she would just get frustrated and, rearrange the schedule and go clean the house herself. Well, she had an employee call her, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and the employee was crying, and she said, my car is not working, and I need this, I need work in order to pay my bills, and I don't know what to do. And instead of jumping into, well, if you can't show up, I got to find somebody else who will, she stopped for a moment, and she felt the pain of that employee and that fear that that employee was having. And she thought, how can I help her right now? How can I help her? And she went and got the girl's car and took it to a mechanic shop and said, what's wrong with this car? And it was $150. And she said, fix it. So she got the girl to the job so that she could do her job. She got the car fixed. It was $150. And then she created a way for the employee to pay that back over time. But it really created a win-win scenario where now the employee has a car that works so that she can continue showing up for work. And she solved the problem in that moment. And it wasn't that much skin off of her back. It was really just taking a different approach, and it was a heart-based approach. And, she called me and she was so proud, and she felt so good about that act of kindness that she did for her employee. And she was like, why don't we all do this? Why aren't we all thinking of our employees that way? It just makes such a big difference in everybody's lives.
I agree. I agree. That is so powerful. I love both of those stories.
Yeah.
I'm just soaking it all up. I can actually visualize the scenarios. I recall when I was a principal, I had a staff. I had a small staff, and when people needed time off, I didn't ask questions. I too went into the classroom sometimes because people are dealing with so many things.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're only focused on the numbers and we're only focused on productivity and profit, honestly, we will not reach our goal.
Yeah.
Because our true goal is to have a purpose driven business, to have a purpose driven life. And so if we are at a place in our business and we do have and we are a spiritual person and we do operate in faith, we understand that sometimes we will pray to God, God, I want my business to be a blessing. I want it to bring glory and honor to your name. And so sometimes that means that we actually have to become uncomfortable so
Mm-hmm.
that we can make sure that our teammates are comfortable. And so again, as you're telling that story, it just reminded me of the times in which I stepped into the classroom as a principal if I had a teacher that needed to leave campus immediately or they couldn't get to campus on time. You know what? Don't even worry about it. I'll step into the classroom. And I
Yeah.
actually love being in the classroom because I love teaching. So that was amazing. One of the things that you mentioned in your story was giving yourself grace. And I know that's a slightly different topic from doing business on the heart, but I feel like in this season, many people need to give themselves more grace. As an entrepreneur, it's easy for us to look at what other people are doing and other achievements that they've made and how they're running their business, and we think that we're supposed to be where they are, or we should be doing the same things that they are doing. And if we're not doing those things, it's easy for us to beat ourselves up and not give ourselves enough grace. So can you share a little bit about how can we as entrepreneurs give ourselves grace if we didn't operate doing business from the heart, or if we just had to learn some things the hard way along our entrepreneurial journey?
Such a great question. I love the whole idea of grace is such an important piece, because if we're going to do business from the heart and help others, we want to do it from a place of overflow. And if we aren't giving ourselves grace, guess what? We're not going to be able to give that authentically to someone else. So it all starts here. It all starts giving ourselves grace and loving ourselves through the hard times. Being an entrepreneur is extremely challenging. There are some ups and there are a lot of downs, and especially in the beginning, there's a whole lot more downs than there are ups. But grace is like the magic elixir that brings ease to what we're doing. And so whenever I feel fear or I feel that anxiety or I feel like I'm comparing myself to someone else, I can talk myself out of it in a number of different ways, but that's not as effective as just giving myself grace and accepting myself and loving myself for where I'm at right now, knowing that I am doing the best I can and that there is an ultimate plan and I am following it. And we all have our own unique path that we can't compare. I mean, if we start comparing ourselves to others, we will always be frustrated. We will always have that feeling of inferiority, and because we are all on our own unique paths. And giving ourselves grace, it's almost like, okay, here's how I want to say it. Like you have an empty vessel and there's holes in the vessel that's empty. As you pour grace into the vessel and it starts filling up, it actually patches up those holes. So where we have the insecurities or the inferiorities, those are all the holes that are in the container. As we're putting grace in the container and as it fills up, it actually covers up those holes. It fills in those holes so that when we fill it up to the top, then we can be so graceful with others and we don't have to live with those insecurities and inferiorities on a regular basis.
I love the illustration that you just gave. You see,
That was a
if you
good
are
one.
watching this and you feel that this is good, put it it's good in the comment section. Staci, that was a beautiful illustration. You are indeed a woman of wisdom and you
Mm,
are a woman of business. So
yeah.
here's what I would like for you to do. I would like for you to share with us the item that you got your most recent patent on, and tell us a little bit about that item and the story of why this is an example of how you are doing business from the heart.
Okay, awesome. Well, when I first started out thinking, okay, I want to change the world with business. How are we going to change the world with business? I came up with this plan to create a manufacturing plant where we hire people and then we have a childcare center on site and we have a commercial kitchen on site. So we provide breakfast, lunch, and take home dinners for the families. So we're taking a load of stress off the parents. We're getting the nutrients to the little brains as they're developing that they need. And that is my holistic plan for creating a change in the world. So I was telling my friend this, and she's actually the insurance agent I was telling you about earlier. So I'm sitting in her office and I'm like, this is how we're going to change the world. We're going to create this business model and we're going to change the trajectory of these children's lives because we're going to remove the stress. We're going to give them the nutrients. Their brain's going to develop wonderfully. It's a beautiful plan. And she said, Staci, that sounds amazing. What are you going to manufacture? What product are you going to manufacture? And in that moment, I was like, I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet. The plan hadn't totally been revealed. And so I said, I'm looking for a patentable product that we can manufacture. And she said, well, I have one you can do. And I said, okay, what's that? She said, I can never take a big girl bath. And I said, well, what do you mean? What is a big girl bath? She said, you know, the kind where I'm sipping my wine and I'm reading my book. And I said, yeah. She goes, I can't take it because I'm not relaxing because my feet don't reach the end of the tub. So I'm drowning as I'm sipping my wine and reading my book. I have to hold on to keep myself up. So I did some research and there was nothing in the marketplace that solved this problem. And it's such a simple problem to solve. And so I thought, well, that's a perfect product because it's easy to make. We can engineer and make that here, and we'll see if it's patentable. So I actually reached out to the patent attorney and he said, yeah, that I think that might be patentable. So we created this. It's a rectangle platform and it's got straps off the four corners with suction cups on the end. So you literally install it wherever you need it in the bathtub, and you can rest your feet on it and keep yourself from sliding down and drowning in the tub when you're trying to relax. We filed for the patent in 2020, and typically it takes 3 to 5 years, and the patent office will argue with you about certain points. So if you claim, 15 points of innovation in your patent, the patent office might come back and say, yeah, number 13 and 15 are not inventive. You don't get those claims, but we'll give you the rest of them. There's some kind of back and forth that we typically go through. We applied for all of the possibilities and expecting to get pushback from the patent office. And within 3 years, we got a full approval of the complete patent. So that is our first product. We've been manufacturing that now for 2 years. We've been selling it on Amazon now for a little over a year. And we've done really well. The people are searching for a solution to this problem on a regular basis. And now we've been able to solve that problem.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because when I take a bath, my feet do not reach the end of the tub either. Thank you so much for thinking about people like me.
Yes, absolutely. I'll have to bring you one.
Yes, yes. It is such a beautiful thing to understand the story behind the item. It just makes you want to buy more. And this
Yes.
is an example of why we should do business from the heart. Being an entrepreneur is about solving a problem for a profit. So if you are looking to start a business or you're looking to go next level in your business, understand this is your time and your season to solve problems for people. Then you can look for a profit. But right now, look to solve problems for people. So
Yeah.
tell us, Staci, where can we purchase that item? Because there may be some other women, maybe even a few men, who are listening to this live video or watching the replay. By the way, if you're watching the replay, please put hashtag replay in the comment section. And they too are thinking, well, my feet do not reach the end of the tub either. Or
Yeah.
I want to support her and I want to buy a lot of these items for
Mhm.
children for Christmas. Tell
Yes.
us where can we find this item? How can we support this cause that you have?
Okay, perfect. We have a website. Our company, we named the brand Big Girl Spa Essentials because my friend said she could never take a big girl bath. So we're allowing people to take a big girl bath. So we call it Big Girl Spa Essentials. And that's the website, biggirlspaessentials.com. You can go there and see all of our products. We have a line of high-end luxury handmade organic products that are like for your skin, for the bath bombs, bath teas, candles, everything, like all the things you want for a really luxurious, relaxing big girl bath. You can buy them on that website there. And that goes to support our manufacturing plant that has the childcare center on site and the commercial kitchen on site.
I love the name. So that's my nickname. I'm the oldest of four girls, and my dad, he still calls me Big Girl. I'm
Oh,
4'11", but he still calls me Big Girl. I am the shortest of four daughters, but my nickname is still Big Girl because I was first. So I love that name.
but I
You know,
bet you have the biggest energy of all the girls.
I think I do.
I
I think I do. Dynamite comes in small packages, they say.
That's right.
And so here's the thing. I am thinking about what you offer with your product. And I'm also thinking about how we started this conversation. And they actually go hand in hand. So we spoke about our mental wellness. And now we're speaking about being able to take a big girl bath
Yes.
and feeling like a queen and
Yes.
experiencing luxury. So, talk to us a little bit about why self care is important on this entrepreneurial journey before we wrap it up.
Well, our another excellent question, because as entrepreneurs we tend to put ourselves last. We tend to put our goals and our ambitions, and we push ourselves beyond what's reasonable and healthy a lot of times. So self care is one of those hard lessons that a lot of us learn the hard way. But really, self care is where it all starts. Like nothing happens outside of us that doesn't come through us. So if our vessel is not clean and clear and full of energy, then our outputs are going to be hampered by that as well. So our body acts kind of like a filter. It's our vehicle, but it also is a filter of what comes through us and what we're producing. And so if we really want to produce something of high quality in the external world, we've got to have that, whatever, that health and well-being and abundance inside of the energy that we carry. And so for me, I have non-negotiables, and they're non-negotiables that I do every single day. And if I do these things every single day, then I show up with energy most every day. There's still days that, I'm tired or exhausted or things are, but I take the time to rest. So some of those, find out what it is that makes you feel the best and do those things every single day. Make them non-negotiable. So mine is meditation every morning. I spend quiet time with God and with myself. Walking every day, moving my body every single day, drinking water. Those are my three non-negotiables. And so there's just no question. Like I may not even take a shower in a day, but I do those three things. So those three things come first no matter what. And as long as I'm doing those base foundation of self-care, I'm able to stand up and do the things that need to be done to make my business work.
Beautiful. Well, congratulations on the job well done. I believe that this live was very successful on today. I did not prepare her for these questions.
No.
So these are her true questions, her true answers from the heart. Thank you so much for watching, Beatrice. If you found this video to be informational, drop information on the comment section. If you found this video to be inspirational, drop that word in the comment section. If you are motivated to do just a little bit more for yourself or for others, put motivational in the comment section. If you learned something new on today, put educational in the comment section. Staci Wright will be a guest speaker at the Business Women Building Wealth Luncheon October the 28th in Dallas, Texas. Well, technically it's Hearst. It's a suburb of Dallas. But if you are flying in, you will fly into the Dallas Fort Worth airport and then make your way to Hearst, which is not far away from it. Okay, so if you have not gotten your tickets, go get your tickets today. You can go to jointerry.com/luncheon. I thank you so much for watching this. Oh, I see informational and inspirational. Excellent. That's exactly how you will feel when you walk away from the luncheon. You will have tools in your tool belt. You will be educated, inspired, and motivated on your journey to building wealth as a businesswoman. Thanks again, Staci, for being here. I hope you all have an amazing weekend. Adios.